Artistic Director, Chief Conductor, Alexander Briger is with me this morning. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Andrew.
So good to have you in the studio.
It's fantastic.
I always love company in the studio in the morning.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. It gets a bit lonely sometimes.
Does it?
I just Googled you yesterday in anticipation of this interview, and I found out that you are a nephew of Charles McCarris.
That's right. Yeah.
Was he at any time an influence on you to be a conductor?
Completely.
Yeah.
My whole life.
How did that happen?
It started, funnily enough, when I was, like a lot of 12-year-old boys, I wanted to become a pilot. I was into aeroplanes.
I had a dream once. Didn't happen.
I played the violin and all that, and I remember my mother took me to my first symphony concert, and that was my uncle conducting the Sydney Symphony, and he was doing Mahler's Fourth Symphony, and I went to that concert and it changed my life. Immediately then, I looked at my uncle and I said, I want to do exactly that. This music is incredible and I want to control it. After I'd listened to that Mahler's Fourth Symphony, I went out and bought a recording of it with Tenstedt conducting the London Philharmonic. And then, when I was younger, I got invited by the London Philharmonic to come and conduct the Mahler's Fourth Symphony in Festival Hall in London. And that was, for me, it was a huge experience. And my uncle came to see me conduct the Mahler Fourth in London with the LPO. So it was like a full circle. It was a beautiful thing. As I've been conducting all over Europe and America, etc., it was very interesting to me to see just how many Australians had top jobs in all the world's best orchestras. And we used to get together all the time after a concert, and we all know each other. We all grew up together. Wow, it's a small country, Australia.
It must have been a big thrill for all of them to come back to Australia to play.
They were the first concert, the first rehearsal. I'll never forget. Everyone was so nervous because they were all looking at each other, knowing how these incredible jobs that they had now achieved and the accomplishments. And I remember Simone Young actually led the first rehearsal, and she really had to calm everybody down. And she made a joke. Which was, she looked around the orchestra and she said, look, it's the Australian Youth Orchestra with wrinkles. So everyone's now old. and everyone laughed, and that sort of calmed the energy.
Was it a challenge to integrate all these musicians from different orchestras into one then? Because I understand that it's not only an orchestra that's made up of these wonderful musicians from other orchestras, but from home ground as well.
Yeah,
right?
It's half from within Australia and half from overseas. Okay. And that was the big question. All the critics, everyone was asking, what is this orchestra going to sound like? Yeah. How can you just form it straight away? And I can't tell you, it just happened immediately. And everybody looked around and said, we have an orchestra.